welcome back to my KSP playthrough. This is going to be finally episode 1, and we're joined here in the VAB because I just got a new contract, because I've just installed a mod that added better contracts because the base Kerbal Space Program ones kind of suck. I really hope you guys understand. Alright. So, last time we left off, Kerbal was Eclipse, but apparently that must have ended. But, alright, we're gonna launch this little, heavy whack here. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we're heading off the pad, but alright, so pretty standard launch. I don't know what was going on with our booster, but you know, this thing doesn't really have the most proper SAS, so we're probably not going to get much from this flight. But if this completes the whack contract, that's all I need. Let me move Meg chip a bit. But alright, so I'll come back when we've landed this. Alright, we're back, and as you can see, the Tiny Tim contract is completed. White Sands. Well, technically we're not in White Sands, but ooh, whack corporal. Recover the core intact. I don't know. Failed. Oh, I can do this one. Even though it's Germany, we'll just say it's Werner von Kermans. All of these are really kind of boring. But some of these ones, like... This is the Soviet Union, but... I don't think I can do any Soviet contracts right now, so... the whack corporal... Recover the core intact. We'll do this one next, but I'm gonna just do a basic V2 flight, so let's warp till sunrise. There we go. Now we have a bit more rocket engines now, but we're just gonna fly a basic V2 test flight just to see how far I can get. So this is the big whack. I'm gonna save that for now, but let's go back in and grab the classic V2 because the other one has a burner stage taped onto it. Alright. We have our classic V2. Technically, this is German work, but they don't need to know that. Here, let me turn that back on so this kind of just snaps. There you go. Then we can cover it up with a nose cone. Alright, well, actually I shouldn't probably do that because this thing won't get that much data because it's unrecoverable. But I will make a version of this that can be recovered, just like the upper piece right here, because I think we've unlocked... That looks so goofy, but that's what we're gonna have to use apparently. But yeah, we're just gonna test the V2. And let's kind of mix it up. Horizontal. We're gonna launch from the horizontal test pad. We're gonna see how good this goes. Let me make sure this rocket's fully fueled this time. See. Yeah, liquid fueled. Huh. So see, okay. Well, we have our V2 here. We're gonna launch it. So let's see how this goes. I love these more like historical contracts because they allow me to do more interesting stuff. Because it would just evolve into me just test a decoupler in orbit. But alright, so here's our little V2. The horizontal test pad is over there, but I think this more fits it. The classic blockhouses, but alright. 3, 2, 1. Lift off of a captured German V2. Let's kind of face her away from our space center. I want this thing to kind of touch down somewhere over in the Atlantic over there. I could have just strapped this stuff on and had the V2 go suborbital now that I think about it. Because it is the first, like, human-made object to reach space, and I know someone in the comment section is going to tell me it's a manhole cover, but I'm pretty sure that took place after this. Yeah, so this is a V2 like flight time. It would just coast over. Oh. Weirdly enough, it's not pointing noseward. That's concerning. It's kind of falling back. I don't know. We have a little bit of kerosene left. Will this be the first time we test out a suicide burn, or is this is probably gonna burn up in the No. So, aerodynamic. Yeah. Surprisingly enough, so it must be going pretty slow if it's. Yeah, there we go. That was our attempt at a suicide burn, but. Okay, there we go. Because I was like, aerodynamically, it should be pointing noseward. And it's going to hit the ocean. Perfect. Alright. To the Space Center. Alright, so let's see if that completed the contract. I wish... Oh. I forgot it's going to focus me on... Can I... Why is that so slow? There we go. Yeah, I forgot. It's going to focus me on the last thing I did. That's funny that it wants me to launch my N1. That is kind of funny. But anyway, let's check our contract. Alright, so these arrogant ones, even though they're German, they're also pretty much giving... Oh, there we go. That is what I was looking for. Vanguard. Vanguard TV3 is destroyed. You know, let's get that whack corporal. Oh, why can't I accept it? Oh. Is it because I already have an Aragon launch? I don't know. These Aragon ones, even though they're German, they are giving me a bunch of money. The downside to that being is that they have to be destroyed at the end of the flight, which kind of sucks because that's a lot of money. But we'll save our V2 here, and we're going to bring in the big guns now, as I'm going to load up Vanguard. It's missing its satellite, which is probably what we're going to be researching next. But I think Vanguard will be able to fly within this episode after a couple more arrogant launches, and to see if the Tiny Tim contract can be completed, because I don't know why it won't let me. Do I need to meet like a certain goal or something, or is it because I went with the Navy's? Is it because I went with the Navy instead? I don't know. Let's head to the research and development building and figure out what we're going to research next, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be at this point early satellites. I really should change that setting right as we speak. Settings. Kerbal constructs. In-flight. Alright, so that should fix it next time, but we're gonna head to the research. Those are our max Kerbals right now, so we're gonna have to get that fixed, but research and development. Alright. Well, primitive satellites, we have enough, so we're gonna grab that one. Basic, I don't even think we're ready for that, but re-entry testing, weirdly enough, gives us landing equipment. I think that might be a glitch on this, and Syncom for some reason. Reaction thrusters. We're gonna get this because this leads to the. Even though I didn't want to use it, it's gonna be the best hope to get us to Redstone, because Redstone does have the better track record than Vanguard, and we purposely have to blow up a Vanguard. But early cryogenic. Scientific method gives us. So this is going to be a huge cheat code. Is these Atlas scientific passenger pods, because the Atlas ICBM is what I want to be using, because it's really reliable in the early game, and then I can just strap stuff to the side of it. But yeah, see, a lot of these are empty because I don't have like near future installed, because I really don't like going too far past modern day. What is this? Scansat. Decrypted. Yeah, okay, so a lot of these get weird. Landing legs. Advanced Martian landers. It's funny because it gives you proved man landers. So that's where we'll head for the moon. Far future. Advanced command modules. It's weird how far Apollo is down here. Like, we're not even close to it. Alright, so I'm gonna go get, oh, I forgot to check on the contracts. So we're gonna make sure, I'm gonna see if I can, well, I'm gonna get that Aragon ready, so I'll come back when when the V1 is on the launch pad. Alright, we're back on the launch pad for our Aragon 2 flight. Now, the V2 I'm using is using the American livery because I really like how it looks. And we're gonna, well, yeah, let's just take this thing off. Now, in real life, the US used a captured V2 to capture the first images from space, so that's probably what I'm gonna do as well. Just to get some science. But they haven't asked for images from space yet, so I don't even know if that's like a requirement. The V2, although it has a really high thrust mast, it's somewhat efficient for these early test hops. And as you can see, I can now see the apoapsis. I can't really do much with it now, but it does mean that I can see. Oh, this might be a failure. Yep, this is bad. This was bad. Well, now we have a cascading V2. We're gonna have to revert that to launch, which sucks, but I never put in the rules that I couldn't do that. But that was my bad. I forget how, like, you can't stabilize this thing after you flip it. I don't know why, but alright, 1, 2, 3. But again, so you can see my launch areas. I love how all these pads are modern, but I'm using like a dirt husk. But I did also upgrade the runway last episode. I didn't really point that out, and the vehicle assembly building for the planes, because I really do want to test out rocket planes. But yeah, this. But now that I can actually see our rocket's apoapsis, we might have just a chance. I'm going to cut off throttle because we are pretty high. We're just going to watch as this V2 here coasts. Right around here, I'm going to burn the engine for the last bit of kerosene it has and get us into outer space. So I'm trying to make sure I always point my rockets away from the Kerbal Space Center, because it doesn't really count them as a successful launch if you launch it straight up and it lands right back on the launch pad. Which, you know, I would just say is efficient, but yeah, now, although we're just reaching the upper cusps of space, we're still falling short of it. And I'm hoping, I don't think this episode, because we're already starting to run kind of long. We're at 19 minutes. Well, the other one was 36 minutes, but we're already starting to run kind of long. It's really, I would really love to know why my V2s don't fly, like don't fall downward. They do this. Which if I, oh. There we go. That was Aragon 3. Alright, so as you can see, now we're at the launch pad. I did some tweaking of the design, and so this is the classic V2. You guys all know, you've seen this one. This is how we first reached space using this system, but noticeably there's a small gap up here. So if I aim my camera, there's a gap right here, and that is for the decoupler. So if I remember right, control from here. Alright. So we're gonna, this is to get the Aragon 5 and the Whack Corporal contracts completed. So the only thing that needs to survive is this upper guidance unit. I'm pretty sure the rest can fall away. So that's roll. Yeah, that's roll. Alright, so we're just gonna let her light. Using the V2 as pretty much the lower stage. Looks like we're still gonna splash down somewhere in the Atlantic. Would it be right to call this the Atlantic, this the Pacific? I don't know, Kerbals Ocean is kind of weird. Alright. That is gonna be one rough re-entry. We're gonna land somewhere downrange. So another one of these suicidal hops pretty much. So alright. It's armed. Oh, please don't burn up. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, and now we can decouple that, because we don't need that anymore. The only thing that needs to survive is this, and we can open this up and record media. So we're still gonna get some data from this too, some basic science, but this is, if I understood the contract right, this is the only thing that needs to survive. So I'll come back when we're landed. Alright, we've landed now. Now let's recover this guidance unit, and hopefully this has completed the contracts. We're gonna see. That was, I'm surprised that thing even made it. So the reason, now originally I was gonna have fins on the Whack upper stage, but oh wow, look at that. It's tons of data. Look at that. We are, now let's check mission control. Yes, Aragon 5 and Whack Corporal. Now, Blossom 1. Aragon 4. So we're gonna get these Aragon contracts. These are Soviet in nature, so I'm not going to get those. But Blossom 1. And we're going to accept Vanguard. So I'm pretty sure Vanguard TV3 is slated to fail. So we have Blossom and Arrogant 4. So the Ballistic, Arrogant 4 destroyed. Okay. I don't know why we got Arrogant 5 before 4, but... And Blossom 1. So... We now have Vanguard TV free contract, so I'm pretty sure we're going to finish out the episode today with Vanguard's doomed flight. Because the V2 here is perfect for the Blossom missions. So we'll just strap another we'll throw another science thing in there, and so we just got to recover this. But I'm wondering, because something that would really boost our... This would really boost our goal if we could get pictures from space. Hopefully this doesn't break the camera when it launches. But we're gonna try this out. Goo experiment. That's for the... Because this thing does we do actually get the Capabella liquid fuel, which is something that was used on here, but there's no probe core that small. So you really can't use it, which is really sad. Because even this avionics package is... these batteries... I don't know, forgot to how you check how many parts you have, but I think the camera's pushing it, so we'll see. So we're gonna launch this one, and then Arrogant 4 will be our final. I hope Arrogant 4 is the final one. We might still do a couple Arrogant 6 and 7s. But after a while, it's not going to be really useful to launch V2s and have them blow up, even though that's what the Germans did. So we're going to... So I'm purposely going to cut this fuel short. And what I mean by that is that I'm purposely going to cut the engine of the V2 early in its flight so we don't have that big of a ballistic re-entry. And we're also going to attempt to get the first pictures from space. Alright, we're going to cut our engine. We're losing a lot of speed. we've reached space. Aperture's open. Alright. We have taken the first pictures from space, but don't get too excited now. Because we gotta wait for this to come crashing back down. Yeah, so I like the fact that this is wobbling. And here comes the shoot. So we've reached space. We got film pictures. And we are gonna drop away our little companion that was keeping us in space for a bit. But we now have a film from space, and this should get the Blossom test, and we'll do the Aragon right after this. So I'll come back when we've landed. Right, we landed, and now let's check right now if... Huh. Okay, so... I wasn't expecting that. That completed Aragon 4. Which was it? We can work with that. We can work with that. But... Well, I thought we would be ending this episode with some Aragon launches, but apparently not. So, as we speak now, I'm gonna get some upgrades in our air tree because I think we need to get... So we need to get those Kerbals training, pretty much. That's what I'm trying to say here. But as I speak now, we are preparing for something big coming up. Our first orbital launch attempt. Now, if you're a history buff, you know something's not going to go right because the rocket we will be using is the Vanguard TV3. But what's the point of not trying to reach the stars at this point? But I'm going to get re-entry testing because that gives me airbags, which I don't know how I'll use them yet. Maybe later my capsules will carry them, but as we speak now... Yeah, okay, I'm going to save some of my research to manned capsules. Manned space flight. So we got to get some interchangeable parts and calculus. Rain beacon. So we're gonna try get here. Precise measurement is next. This gives us a bunch of cameras and science experiments, which and animal research capsule, which seems really funny. So let's get in the VAB and get ready to launch for the final launch of this episode, the Vanguard TV3. Navy contract. Still, our Jupiter isn't ready. Sparta guidance, yeah. But Vanguard. Alright, so we're here. We're going to launch the Vanguard TV3 because this was a competitive spacing. I would believe my Soviet counterpart would have reached at least orbit by now. They get access to really good rockets at the very beginning, so we're gonna turn on. There's no SAS, so we're just gonna go for it. pretty interesting flight. And we're going to recover it. And hopefully this gives us that contract. And it also wakes me up to the fact that we don't have hypercolic fuel in the upper stage. Completed. Vanguard TV free. Crash shortly after takeoff. So we're gonna get what's EA? So orbiting Kerbin's coming up. We're gonna get the backup, and that's what we have for now. And I'm gonna begin before we end this episode. I'm gonna check out our research to see what do I need to get the Sparta. The Redstone Guidance Unit. We are gonna get that. So now we have the backup Vanguard. So let's get that switched over, but as you saw, Vanguard TV free failed, and it's not looking too promising towards orbit. We don't have the best rocket engines. There's something cool about this, the fact that you can like switch it out easily, because before, if I remember correctly, I misinstalled the mod, so you had to put a bunch of stuff in there. But anyway, we're gonna save Vanguard TV free, and this is where I'm gonna end the episode with Vanguard's failure, and let's see if in the next episode we reach orbit. Alright, see ya and goodbye.